Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I thank Chairman Good and Chairman Perry and my colleagues behind me. You know, just yesterday, it's ironic. Senator Braun's resolution that the national debt is a security crisis and the security threat passed UC in the Senate.
Of course it did.
Ironic, isn't it? When I introduced that piece of legislation several years ago, there were $21 trillion in national debt. Speaker at the time wouldn't let that bill come to the floor. And now we're sitting at $34.5 trillion, rolling it up about $1 trillion every 120 days in national debt, new national debt. And the same yo-yos that just passed and acknowledged that a national debt's a security threat, they're going to take this package and they're going to pass it. That's what's going to happen unless sanity begins to rule. Now, if we take a look at the Budget Control and Impound Act, it requires 12 appropriation bills be passed in this body where the Constitution says we originate spending bills, and it gets to the Senate. We're supposed to get to the Senate by June 30th of every year. You know the last time that happened? Can you? You know, I had to give a prize. 1977. That's the last time that was done properly. And you know what? We were promised a little over a year ago when that speaker was brought in, he said, we're going to do those 12 spending bills, doggone it, for 2024. We're going to get them over to the Senate. That was one reason some of us acquiesced and said, well, okay, well, if we got a shot at it, we want to do it. We got one, and then he didn't transmit the bill. And now what we've got is we've got a speaker who says, we're going to have to, it's all we can do. This is all we can do. It's tough. We don't have enough. Well, what I say to the speaker, and I've told him to his face, and I say it again, is you know what? The American people, they're watching what we do. And they know something. If you surrender, you lose every time. But if you fight, you got a chance to win once in a while at least. I'm not saying we don't have a tough road because we've got, in name, we have a very slim majority. And in reality, maybe we don't even have a majority. But doggone it, fight. This is capitulation. This is surrender. Well, you know, the reality of it is, these guys behind me, and the lady behind me, they we're all together. Yeah, very good. I didn't forget you, Anna. We all know that this bill is chock full of crap, and you know it, and the American people know it. And you're going to see people who campaigned on the Republican Party platform of reduced spending, reduction of the national debt, responsible government, reduction of regulation, pro-life, whatever. That's the platform. But they're all going to go out there, and there's going to give enough votes for this to pass today.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Unless rationality sets in. And if there's no rationality setting in, we're going to be adding to the national debt, and we're going to further the destruction of this country. And I'll just tell you this, the invasion you saw in Texas yesterday, that's an ongoing thing. Right. Don't tell me this is the hill you're going to die on, Mr. Speaker. Look at, this has been going on in Lukeville, where they're cutting the fence and people are flowing in every day. And that's in Arizona. That's in Arizona. This is an invasion. What you saw yesterday is just another example of the invasion. Doggone it, Mr. Speaker. Do the right thing. Pull this bill. Run legislation, which I've introduced, which would give you a partial shutdown, but stop funding the government that wants to emasculate the sovereignty and freedom of the American people. With that, I yield to Rosendale.